Okay, hello. How are you on this lovely, much anticipated Wednesday night? I am super excited to be here. When you hop on, drop a comment and let me know you have joined. I am just finishing the touches on the organization behind this art event tonight. I have done a lot of art shows, but I have never done one like this before. So I am very excited to do this video for the first time. There are, like I announced earlier, there are 59 pieces here. All the pieces that you're going to see tonight are usually discounted because what I have realized is I have a lot of art. And the other thing I've realized is that the energy moving feels really good. So let's get some energy moving tonight. So my name is Nina Medard. I am an artist. I work primarily in paint and in drawing. I use a couple different types of paint, some called gouache, watercolor. I love a colored pencil. Every now and then I grab a crayon. So I like to play around. I like to collage on my work. Some of that you'll see tonight. And the work that you're going to see tonight ranges from, about 20 years ago until now. And you'll see the development of my work. I've laid it out in a way where we can kind of build up together. So let me know if you're ready. Let me hear you in the comments. Drop a hi. I am so excited that you're here joining. So the purpose of the event tonight is to have some energy flow. We're going to share some art. I'm going to share stories with you, tell you a bit about each piece, and I am going to put up a code that if you see something that you like, you are going to be able to go ahead and click that code if your phone allows you to do that. And then you will be able to go right in and buy it real easy. If you feel more comfortable dropping a comment or sending me a private chat, you can do that too. All right, so let me just get that up. So there we go. You can use that code during, and it's going to take you straight to the order page. But I want to make sure that I'm walking you through everything. All right, so let me show you a little bit of what's to come, and then we will get started. All right, so I've got five different piles here of work. What I'm going to do is show you a little teaser, and then we're going to get into the flow. I have been preparing for this. I'm so excited to show you what I've got, and I want to show you a little bit of a sneak peek. So we are going to have some plants, okay? See that? All right, this is going to take me a second to get used to it, but the camera flips so that you can see art as intended. We have some plants we're going to go through. We have some sculptures that we are going to, there's some sculptures that we're going to look at. Okay, these are made of wood. And we have some more familiar pieces. These might look familiar to you. And then we have some biggies. All right. So this is just a small taste. Well, we might have to change the orientation of the phone or move the camera for this one. Oh God. Somebody help me figure out how to do this. Okay. This is a mental exercise. All right. So here we go. You can see they are all sizes, all scales, all subjects, all mediums. So let us get started. Okay. So here we go. Let's kick it off. So the first piece here is called Shine. Get up. So this is a mixed media piece. It is made with marker. It's made with paint. It's made with pen and colored pencil. It's on, I'm sorry guys, I'll get used to this. Okay, there we go. So this piece, it's a picture of a rose, and it is kind of a graffiti style. It's really playful. and it emphasizes every part of the rose except the normal emphasis of the rose. So I like to say that this piece is about shining through your rougher circumstances. So that is shine. Let me see if I can pull up the pricing info so that you guys don't have to run over to the page. All right. So shine, and let's see. I won't tell you dimensions, but if you visit this site, it will tell you all the dimensions there. So this piece is $57, and it is original marker and watercolor on fine art paper. So that is shine. All right. Moving on, one down, 58 to go. All right, here's the next piece. And this piece is called Reset. Sorry, Rest. This piece is called Rest. And this is gouache on board. It's a very sturdy piece of material. It's kind of like a mat board from when you would frame. And this one is original gouache on board, and you can see the floor of the woods and the trees. So I painted this one in Argentina when I was in college. Let me see if I can see it. When I was in college, I had a really bad anxiety attack, and I had, kind of flooded myself with really like downer negative information, and I basically had to leave school. I just like couldn't handle it anymore. So on that year off, what I did was go to Argentina. My aunt invited me to go to Argentina to visit her daughter. And so I had this really great trip down in Argentina with her. It was about 2 weeks long. And while I was down there, I did some graffiti. Graffiti's really big down there, or at least, 20 years ago when I was down there, it was. So I did some graffiti. But we also visited some really beautiful woods down there. And so these trees were really unique for me. I hadn't seen trees like that before. You can see the striations in the tree trunks. They were just very beautiful, and there's always been something about the texture of a tree trunk and the bark that just really pulled me in. So that is where this painting is from. This one is called Rest. Next, we have Onward. And Onward is a piece that I was just showing you before to give you an idea of what you can expect tonight. So Onward is an original on art. It's an art marker and fine art paper on fine art paper. So this cactus I love because it looks like it has a foot getting ready to just like step off the page. So it's really quirky, it's growing sideways and just silly. It's got some really bright, fun colors in it. You can see this one, the texture in there is the gouache kind of lifting up off the page. Really nice piece. It's about, this is about like 6.5 inches by 9 inches. And so that is $47. And all the pieces that you see today will be sure to be signed. Will come with a certificate of authenticity. The whole kit, what is that saying? The whole kit, cat and caboodle or whatever. That. We'll make sure that if it is for you, if it is a gift, it will feel really special for everyone. So that is number 3, Onward. Speaking of which, let's get on with it. So the next one to show you is called Proud. So here we have Proud. So you can deal without my face for 1 sec. If you could let me know in the chat if you can hear me when my face is covered. I'll try not to cover my face too much. But drop a hi in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can feel me. All right, this is Proud, and it is, again, art marker and pen on art paper. So it is a piece, especially back in college, I would tend to work really small because, you're moving dorm rooms, moving from one studio classroom to another, back, forth, and around. I'd sit down in coffee shops a lot. And so I would, grab a few a few pens, a few markers to have like a limited color palette and just be able to work from anywhere. So these scruffy tops are emblematic of the fact that these are from sketchbooks. And so lace is this series that I basically fell into. I was working at a flower shop, and there are so many lovely flower paintings out there. Um, but I was kind of bored of just straightforward flower paintings. Felt like there was no shortage of that, and so I wanted to see something new. So what I started to do was just admire the flowers when I was around them and notice the shapes of their leaves and the way that they would, the different like shapes that they would make throughout the different stages of their development, from being in, like, you can't even see it, to a bud, all the way to a blossoming flower and then dying again. And so then I would kind of fantasticize the flowers. So here is one, one such example, and this one's called Proud. So that one has a price tag of $47. Next, we have another flower piece, and this one is going to be called Bloom. It's much more abstract. It is pen with just a tiny touch of watercolor. If you can kind of make out right here at the top, sweeping across the top, there's just a dash of watercolor to help emphasize it on the page and kind of place it. So this one's very abstract, a lot of line work, and again, just playing with the forms of flowers. Same size, same sketchbook, and that one again is about 5 by 9 inches. Okay, next we have one called Sturdy. So if you had to guess, what kind of plant might you expect Sturdy to be? Let me know in the comments. All right, let me show it to you. All right, here we have it. This one is called Sturdy. And as you can see, we have 3 cactus plants in the bright midday sun. They don't need the shade. They don't need the water. They are freaking sturdy. They are badass. They can handle it. It is really like just like a symbol of simplicity, really. So that is sturdy. Price tag $47. All right, next. There we go. All right, this is called Smiles. This one measures 12 by 14, and it is art marker on fine art paper. And this is one that in the past years, trying to get out of that like postpartum funk and get back into the art. And so I was kind of like playing around with a few different styles. As you've seen, my styles kind of gone this way and that. And so this was more of that like watercolor feel, yet playing with marker instead. So I love flowers so much. I literally have some flowers right here. You'll actually recognize the vase. Almost the same color flowers too. These are Gardesia, which are like my favorite. Later in the summer, I tend to see like fire engine red ones, and those are awesome. So same vase, lovely vase. Got that in Maine one year at a store called Minka in Kennebunkport, and I love it. But yes, so this is called Smile. I just feel like this would be such a beautiful one for Mother's Day. I pulled it thinking, instead of getting your mother a vase of flowers that will last for, a week or two if you're good, better than me, then, this can last forever. So that is Smiles. Fine art, art marker on like a nice, thick, sturdy art paper. All right. Next we have, let's see here. Okay, we have Pickle Jar is what it says at the bottom, and it's called Simplicity. I made this because, sometimes I will just grab a flower, put it in a pot, and whatever is available, and even still, it just has this way of sprucing up a space. So I absolutely love one cut flower, 12 cut flowers, in a vase, in a jar, in a shot glass, in a boot with water in it. Flowers make me so happy. They're just beautiful. They're cheerful. They can't look bad. They're just wonderful. All right. Next one's called possibilities. So we are still in the earlier stages. But here we have possibilities. And possibilities is a piece made with watercolor, colored pencil, and then if you get really close, you see the little girl is actually spotting a fish, and the fish is spotting her. So it's a piece that I made thinking about growing up and taking vacations on the lake with my family and that special time that I got to spend with my parents. You know, they were busy, they would work. And so having those times where you can have uninterrupted, long, extended, calm moments with them with no agenda were just so beautiful. So this one shows a sunrise and a girl and her dad and just the day ahead and, you know, what's going to happen. I don't know, but I know it's going to be good. So possibilities right there. That one is 97. All right, Guardian. So this is kind of for my biblical folks. It quotes the Bible around it. It is a quote from Numbers, number 6, and the quote around it talks about God blessing, keeping, and guarding you, and letting His face shine on you, and keeping your face toward God. So this one is a funky take on an old classic, and it is watercolor, colored pencil on fine art paper. And when I got married and moved away from Chicago, where I had gone to school, um, I found it kind of hard integrating my art practice into my new life, and just kind of fitting it in and kind of feeling committed to it. So in 2013, when we moved here, my husband and I, I'd kind of get a little bit settled with it and then have a kid and then get completely unsettled and have to try to figure it out all over again. And on and on, we had 4 kids. So that happened the 4 times I had kids plus just the moving. And so throughout that 2013 to 2021 time range, as far as artwork is concerned, photography is kind of a different story, but as far as artwork is concerned, there are very few pieces that kind of fill that gap. So this is one of those mile markers for me. So this is a 2013 piece I know because I can literally I made so little artwork at that time that I can remember it being a really big deal to spread out my art supplies um, and just sit down and give the time to something that I wasn't really used to giving time to. So um, my relationship with the Bible has changed a lot, but there are still, I still get a lot of value out of it. I still feel a lot of heart there too. So that is a quote for Numbers. So if your mommy on Mother's Day loves numbers and loves being guarded by the Lord, being gracious, you can see some of the words there. You can see the metallic. There she goes. All right. The next one I have to show you is called Gentle Gray. And Gentle Gray is gouache on fine art paper. And I love this one because it's kind of combining um, the figure drawing classes that I would take in high school and in college, where you're really trying to get precise and accurate. But then, when you look at the toes and the hands, and even the hair, it's starting to become a lot more inventive and creative and letting go of tradition and conventions and letting go of the way things are supposed to look and more so here I'm trying to sort of discover something different. This is where I started to understand that I don't want my art to look like a picture. I don't want my art to be a medical representation of what I'm trying to accomplish. Instead, I'm reaching more for a feeling. And when I play with the body, like I am here with the feet, the hands, the bend and the curves of the body, um, for me, that's me saying that like there's so much more than what we literally look like. It's like, how are we feeling? What's like the vibe you're giving off? So this one I really love. This one's called Gentle Gray. It was 77. It's now 47 on the link that is QR codable, like right here. So that's Gentle Gray. The next two, I went back and forth about sharing with you because they are like super sketch, but I have so many friends and followers on here that are hairdressers, so I felt like I have to make these available because I can just picture these being used in one of their creative spaces. If you love to do hair, if you professionally do hair, um, these were just on my mind for you. So there's two of them. And if you want to order both, I'm going to give you an even more special deal. But this is called Cut, and then we have Cut number 2. Okay, so I'm going to show you one at a time. So they were $70 and they are now $49. And if you would like both of them, I am going to ask you to email me at hello@ninamadard.com or comment here, Cut 1 and 2, and I'm going to give you a special deal on getting both of them together. But these are about 8.5 by 11. They're on bond paper, which is like pretty much computer paper, so it's thin. But these are made with pen and watercolor. I'm going to get up close for you to see some of the texture. But here I am again I'm making this to get out of like the same old, because what I found was I just kept kind of drawing the same face over and over and over again. So this was a study on hairstyles, so that when I was creating, if I got stuck and just drawing the same person with the same clothes, with the same hairdo, with the same body type, I could kind of reference this to shake it up so that I could have him and him and him and make it feel like a real world where people don't look the same. And even day to day, people don't look the same. So that is Cut 1. Black and like this mossy green color. I mean, look at this dude in the pigtails. He looks like he's having a lot of fun. All right, I'm going to show you Cut 2. Here we have black hairstyles. So we have all these different guys, all with black hair, black mustaches, profiles, straight-ons. They're just a ton of fun. I really love these. I picture this matted, black frame. Really cute. That's Cut 1 and Cut 2. All right, I'm going to show you guys 4 more that I was like, I don't know if I should show these. They're like kind of really like out there, but I've been hearing from you guys that you want to see my earlier work. So I'm like, all right, you asked for it. I'm going to show you my earlier work. So are you ready for the next earlier work? If you're ready, type in ready. I want to see it. Okay, ready, ready, ready. All right, here we have Wonder. All right, you can see with the tape sticking up on the top, this is a study. A study is something that artists will do in preparation for something else if we want to try out an idea. So this is obviously collage. You can see the pieces wiggling and leaning. And then we have some glitter, some of my earliest glitter use after graduating first grade. And it is a color study of the clouds. A few things I'll point out, techniques that I appreciate. 20 years later, looking back, we have the symmetry created by folding the clouds, and then line work on the back, as well as the collage and line work on the front. So that's called Wonder. It was listed for $70, but today it is $37. This is maybe the jankiest one. If you do pick up Wonder, I'm going to want to help you frame it because it is so 3D and so many pieces, and that is completely what I love about it. So I want to make sure that I show you how I love to frame pieces that are so 3D and collage-tastic. Okay, 2, 3 more that made me hum and ha. So these next 2 I share specifically because we are under the umbrella of Mother's Day, and I thought, man, these would be such a perfect gift. Again, a simple black frame. Are you ready to see them? Studies that you might recognize from the work I've been up to lately. You have the profile mixed in with the heart. Later on, I'm going to show you some work that these continue to show up in. So up here in the corner, we have a lot of different names for mom. I speak Spanish. I've studied and spoken Italian and French and Latin, and Spanish is really the only one that I still have in my head very well. But I love language. I love language when you're talking about different languages, and I love language when we're talking about vocabulary for different, fields of professions. How, doctors will call it one thing and tarot readers will call it another. It's like same idea, completely different vocabulary. So I really love language a lot. When I was a kid, I was in the grocery store with my mom, and I remember for the first time realizing I was hearing a language that I didn't know. And I think it was Spanish, but I don't know. I just knew it wasn't English. And I said to my mom, I like asked my mom what it was, and I remember her. I remember that myself. I was like, "Oh, well, we're speaking the real language," and she was like, so like awkward about that I just said that out loud in public, and she was like, "No, no, 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 no! Like this is like Then she kind of described to me how language is developed and stuff like that. But that's like one of my earliest memories. Hi, Smith. That was one of my earliest memories with language, and so this is all the different words from mom, and it's the biggest heart is kind of the profile of my mom turned into a heart, and then here I'm playing around with all the different variations of profiles that I could kind of fit on a page. And then to complement, with Father's Day not far behind, we have my dad's profile. And again, in similar fashion, we have different words and languages for father. So there we have it. Mama and Papa. So these were 50, these studies. They are now 27. And if you want both, I want you to type in family in the caption, and I will give you a extra special deal on getting two. All right, the final, what do I want to say? Adventurous input here. Another study early on, and again, you guys wanted to see where it all started. So this is really as I began to take my art profession seriously in my imagination and in my action. So here we have one called Horizons. Now I used to do a lot of murals, and some of the murals I painted are here in Worcester, or well, I don't live in Worcester, but they're here like 30 minutes from our house. And they involved mountains. And so again, really similar to the cut studies that I did of hairdos, I wanted to challenge myself to think about what could mountain horizon lines look like instead of just being, bubbles. Not anything wrong with bubbles, but I kind of feel I get bored easily if things are just the same. So here's a mountain study, and as you can see, it starts to get real creative. I was gonna say I haven't seen mountains that look like this, but now that I think about it, I feel like with all the amazing nature documentaries and travel documentaries, I have seen mountains that look like that, made of rock and crumble and crazy. And that's something that's really interesting is even no matter how unusual I try to make something, whether it's like the context of something like the scene I put together or the shape of a mountain, no matter how far out there I try to make it, it's like God kind of has me beat. It's like already done. But it's a fun challenge. It's a really fun challenge to try to shake it up. So again, this is a $50 sketch, but it is now 27. Okay, we are rolling, and now we're moving into this next phase of creation that I did. I will place this into the 2009 zone. And one Christmas, my mom gave me for Christmas like 500 blank cards. They looked like that. And being a college student, I accepted. And I also decided to use them as gift paper. Really nice thick cardstock. And who doesn't love snail mail? I literally love going to the mailbox and seeing that a human thought of me and wrote me something and then bothered to find an envelope, get a stamp, walk to a mailbox, and then send me a little slice of love. So these could be used as cards. They can also be framed as artwork. A few that I'm going to show you have some complementary design and wording on this side. So you could also frame it flat, but you could also give it as a gift. You could have this, write the note, and then know that this is an original piece of artwork you're giving them with a really special message written inside. So again, we're talking about Mother's Day, but there's 5,000 holidays in a year and 10,000 birthdays of people you know every year. So Mother's Day is on the mind, but think creatively. All right, here we have Summer Morning. And what I love about this one is not only is there the tongue-in-cheek birds and bees, but the sunset is beyond peachy. It is fire red. It's made with pen and watercolor, and it's on this really nice thick cardstock. So that's called Summer Morning. It's sort of sister brother with the canoe picture with the little girl looking at the fish. Same inspiration, same place. All right. We then have Dream. And Dream is on the same type of cardstock. And it's watercolor and pen. It has these really dreamy, easy clouds. I just love the ease of that watercolor. That one's called Dream. Okay, and so these are all were originally around the $70 price range. They measure 6.5 by 10, and then folded 6.5 by 5. But now, just about all of these are priced in the $37 range. So super affordable, and again, like very multi-use. So this is called Neighborly. Inspiration, The Woods, from my locals. Hello. From my locals, the inspiration is in this like sleepy town called Charlton, where we go take time at the lake, like in the summer. And it's just so peaceful. It's so peaceful. It's old trees. And we stay in this cabin, this like kind of like a one-room cabin, but with little bedrooms like built off of it with bunk beds built into the walls that my great-grandfather made. So it's a really special place, very inspirational. He was Swedish, so I think that's where like the blue and yellow comes in. But this is called Neighborly. You've got birds being busy with each other. We even have this guy breaking straight through a branch, but they're having a good time, and they are neighborly. Okay, I love this next one. This one is called Health. It says Salud, which is cheers, it is health, and it is inventive, non-medical interior of a body. You've got the main organs, and then whatever else is in there. But very playful and minimal. That is Salud. It's made with graphite, which is just a fancy word for pencil, the artist word for pencil. So there you have that. I just love this one so much, even without the letters. I think I would probably do it without the letters and let the letters be a secret for myself. So if you like that one, feel free to use this QR code. My camera slipped, so it's a little tricky. All right, we have a few more of these cards to go through. Okay. We have the next one called Girlfriends. Has some complimentary stuff on the side. And these ladies are stacking their chat. This one is pen and watercolor. And then we have this lovely lady. Oh, how I love you. This one's called Hugs. It's original pen, watercolor, and cardstock. So all of these, with the exception of one I'll show you later, are all originals. Again, this one was $70 and falls right into that like $35 range. So really easy spend. Next we have Lighten Up. And what I love about this one is the kind of like double entendre of the way people usually say lighten up, and then just literally they're lighting up. They are meditating, they are under the stars. But the night sky is not dark, it is completely black because they have tapped in and turned on and they are glowing. So I really love this one too. It's called Zen. And it is simple. Pen on cardstock. Here's a fun one. Here we have Smile. Oh, actually it's called Joy. Sorry. Here we have all the silly teeth. And all the different smiles. Gritting again, kind of like a study for variety again. Here's the next one, called The Live. Intended as a greeting card. Remember, our thoughts are alive. And they can be a beautiful garden. It's alive. Next is Poise. And this sculptural bodice. Very simple line work. And then we have this fun one. The Muse. So I had a friend that was like a huge inspiration to me. She was just gorgeous and tall and so striking. She had these very unique features and she loved the camera and dressing up. So we played dress up as full grown adults all the time with the camera, drawing, and so that is a tribute to her. Okay. We have moved out of greeting card land, and now I am going to show you some different shaped paper. Here we have Prima Donnas de Miami, and it's from a trip to Miami, my first trip to Miami. So inspired by just the amount of style and class that I saw there. Just like a really nice balance. I just was in awe and so impressed, and that drawing came out of it. Marker and colored pencil in like the sepia tone. Prima Donnas. Right? Next we have Stillness. Now this is hugely a self-portrait, but I know that it is a very common experience. You are trying to find your zen and your peace in the midst of just life happening around you. So I've given quite a few goes to meditation, and it's looked a million different ways, but not the first time I drew meditation, that's for sure. So that one's called Stillness. It's pen on watercolor. It's actually not watercolor. So this is like a sketch paper, so it's kind of thin, but it will work perfectly inside of a frame. It's about 5 by 7. Yeah, 5 by 7, and that one was 117, and it is 79. So we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So I have apparently conquered technology, and I can see all the chat in one place. So that is so nice. All right, next we have New Parent. How many of you guys are new parents? Let me know in the chat. How many kids do you have? Let me see a number. 2, 0, 1. Soon. Congratulations. That's awesome. We have 4 babies. All right, so here we have new parent, and it is Pencil. I'm gonna just get nice and close. You can see that for a sec. Okay, little baby toes. The baby living straight inside of a parent's arm. Isn't that the way it goes? Especially the first time. You guys know, don't you? New parent. Yep. And was 147, is 97. All right. Another parent. We're kind of in the parent zone now. Here we have one called Journalist. And you see the young mother, someone you might recognize, just living in a rocking chair, just living and breathing the facts of new parenting. You've got life kind of forgotten about all behind, and it's like my whole world anyways was like right here, like 1 by 1 square foot. It was my notebook, my sketchbook, my phone to record. I remember recording a lot of lullabies and nursing and looking at this new amazing wonder that somehow just like vacuumed out of heaven and into a human body and was in my arms. That's Journalist. Also was 147 and is 97. And then we have one called Peace. So before the baby's born, it is just, if you can see, just living attached to an umbilical cord. So this is Peace. It's art marker and colored pencil on fine art paper. It was made to be used as a fabric pattern, a very edgy fabric pattern. Peace. All right, you guys are amazing for hanging in with me. Feel free to drop questions in the comments here, and I will, if I see them, I will make sure to answer them. All right, we next have Moonchild, and it is a poem. You can go to the QR code here to read the full poem. I'm showing it to you now, but I want to make sure we keep moving so I can show you everything that is here. All right. Next, we have one called Pure Lemur. It's pencil on paper, and here comes back those silhouettes that I began to really like spend a lot of time with. And you've got this like rich colored pencil texture, simple intentional line work on the center figures. That one's called Kiss. And here we have one, I bet you can relate, called Self-Care. So I go to the gym and I just love to see everyone in their nice workout clothes, and they're always excited when they have new gym gear, and everybody's there to kind of like better themselves and just feel good. So this is a piece called Self-Care. It is inspired by someone stretching out at the gym after a workout, and it's pencil on fine art paper, thick paper. Again, with this one with the nice clean tear along the edge, I would like float mount that in a frame. And that's like my preferred way to frame float mount. Okay, we've made it to sculptures. So how are you guys doing? What are you thinking so far? What's been the favorite thing that you've seen so far? I would love to see you comment in the chat and let me know. Have you had any favorite pieces yet? Is there a particular style or theme that you've kind of been more connected to from what I've showed you so far? We are just about halfway done, so you are amazing. You are troopers. I don't know if I'll have to do a part two. I'm going to try to speed it along here and get into these sculptures. I'm very excited to show them to you. So with these sculptures, they are all walnut wood, and they've been cut with a jigsaw. Let's see how the camera can read these. Maybe if I put it on a piece of paper. Let's see here. Do it like this. Just for simplicity's sake. All right. That helps a little bit, maybe. So here we have a billy goat, a mountain goat. Their symbolism I really like if you want to look it up. It is about sturdiness and resiliency. Love the info for you too, so you don't have to hop all over the place. Yes, this one was 150 and it's now 97. It is completely one of a kind. Obviously handmade by these hands. And you have a little bit of gold paint on the edge just for a tiny little punch. And then the markings that you see, maybe next time I'll paint my nails first. The markings that you see on the art here are burned. So I have like a metal poker kind of thing that I like turn on, it gets super hot, and then I can draw onto the wood. It's a little laborious and tough on the fingers, but it's a permanent result, so it's really well worth it. All right, here we have the next one, which is an angel. This was part of a nativity scene series that I did, and I just absolutely love these. So I thought the ones that I have still, I would make sure to show you today. So she's about 2.5 inches tall. Yeah. And that's the angel. Also on walnut with the gold acrylic on the edge and the burn lines. Pyrograph. Here's the next. Also from the nativity set, the nativity series that I did. So all the dark line again is pyrograph, which is a fancy word for burning it with a hot pin. And then all the gold is acrylic. And that's on walnut wood. And this guy is about 4.5 inches square and 1 inch deep, but they're sturdy and wide enough to stand on their own. So they make really great mantelpiece objects. They were intended for Christmas time, but I really like them, so I put them up all year. And they were just inspired by feeling like Christmas really needed to be shaken up a little bit. It was like same old everything, Renaissance, European. So these were made out of a desire to see something different. And then not part of the nativity set series, but made with the same materials, we have this piece called Kiss. And you can see the play of the profiles again. And this is gouache and pen. The edge still has the gold acrylic on the edge though. That one's Kiss. All right, so that is what I have for you for sculpture. Let me know how you like the sculpture in the comments. Did you already know that I made sculpture? Do you like sculpture? Do you already collect sculpture? All right, next we have floating. So here, this is a screen. Well, it's actually multi-process. The waves, if you can see the ones that look kind of scratchy here, the scratchy waves are stamped, like a handmade stamp. And then in between all the different stampings, I went in and painted with watercolors, like the smooth blue, that's watercolor. Then I painted this woman. Sorry. The woman is actually collaged in. She was made on a separate piece of paper and then collaged into the waves. And you can see the waves get more condensed in the foreground. And she is just chilling in the waves, enjoying life, floating along, just riding the wave. And she's doing amazing because she looks like she's taking a nap. up next, we have a couple studies coming up in the next 12. This one is called, this one is a study for something called making something. And I went back and forth about sharing studies with you because it's like, well, they're not clean, they're not like perfect, they're more relaxed. But even with that, I realized like I actually like something like that. I like something that feels relaxed and feels a little afraid. So I thought you might like something like that also. So that one is a study for making something. So this one is normally priced at 47, but today it's 27. So a really good deal. Next, we have a painting called Resolution. And some of you have been able to see this before. This is art paper, and on top we have gouache with a few cool colors, but a pretty minimal color palette. That's Resolution. That one was 147 and is now 97. Next, same series, we'll call it. This one is called Date Night. Got a couple kissing. And that's gouache on the same type of art paper. So I actually have one more. They would make like a nice 3-set too if you wanted to do that. So that is Date Night. And then here is what turned into making something, the study that you saw before. So that would actually be a pretty cool diptych too, to be able to see the study right next to the finished piece. They're just about the same size. I'll pull it up for you. It's fun talking these presentation ideas through with you. So here we go. Well, maybe that way, so it would be chronological. But yeah, that's how study works. From there, you kind of advance the idea, making something. And that was 97 and is now listed for 67 during this event. Okay, I've got a couple more studies for you. So I'm really curious to know if you are liking the studies. Let me know. If you like the studies, drop a comment saying studies. I would love to know. I'll share more of them with you. Not tonight, but in the future. All right, so here we have one. It is a color study for a painting I did called Handful of Seashells. And you've got this really nautical color scheme, and it is a very abstracted picture of a hand scooping up itty bitty seashells. If you go to the beach and you look so close at the sand, which I have a feeling you do because you love looking at art, so you probably love looking at beauty, and you find those itty bitty little seashells, and I just love them. They're so magical. And right here, this mound of sand is kind of like inspired by one of those like drip castles where you get like that muddy sand and you watch it all fall onto the beach, and like the drips instantly kind of have that dry look. It's so cool. So that's a study for that painting. That one was 69, that study, and is now 47. And that price will go for this study too, which this one is a color study for the painting I did called One, which you may have seen before online. And I want to just get nice and close because there are some cool details in her sunglasses, because her sunglasses really were part of the like main most favorite part. Hi, Abby. Oh, it's okay that you're late. I'm just glad that you are here now. We still have let's see, we still have a bit to go through, so you have not missed everything. We'll probably go for like another 12 pieces. So please hang tight. So yes, this is a color study for One. And that one measures about 3.5 by 5 inches. All right. I'm laughing because next is a big piece, and you saw me at the beginning trying to figure out how to get in camera. But I'm going to show you the whole piece and then get nice and close for you so that you can see some of the details. I hope you don't think I'm crazy when I call some of the work amazing, but the reason that I don't feel conceited calling it amazing or wonderful is because, like, when I'm creating work, I really throw caution to the wind, and I, like, trust that I don't know what I'm doing. There is a guiding hand working with me, and if I just trust it, and when I think something looks terrible, I just keep going, then God, angels, and all those things are gonna come and help me just make something really cool. So when I say a piece is amazing, like this next piece, I'm gonna show you some amazing details. And the reason that I don't feel cocky saying that is because I don't feel like I am really like the ultimate creator of the pieces. I feel like I am a collaborating piece in the process. I am a tool for making it happen. So this piece is called Girlfriends. All right. Okay. So you can see Girlfriends. And this is one of those pieces I made around 2015 or 16. Yeah, 2016. I had this was like one of the first pieces I made out of my second postpartum phase. And I'm gonna come a little closer so I'm not like completely shouting at you. I'm gonna show you. This is the cool part. So I made this piece right after our second was born. Not right after. No. She was almost 2. But it was like my first getting back into an art practice. Another art studio in the house, like a room in the house, and set it all up like an art studio and started waking up at 4 in the morning. And I can remember toward the end of this piece, she started waking up at 4 in the morning. So my art practice kind of went out the window again. And then guess what? I got pregnant. So this is a treasured piece called Girlfriend. And it is, that's one of the fun things about being a parent is like play dates. Your kids kind of force you to hang out with friends, which is sort of amazing. But I love this piece. It's like an aerial view of a bunch of ladies just hanging out, chilling. There are no kids, it's just adults, and it's just women, and they are just communing and mingling and just being free. Because one of the things I noticed about moms is like they're awesome. Like we might have been pretty like self-centered, not care about other people, and be really demanding before we had kids. But it's like if you think we're that way now, you should have seen us before. Because when you have kids, you have no choice but to like get more awesome. Like you got to become all the good things a person can be, at least more. You're never gonna be perfect. I'm not saying you're perfect, but whenever someone who doesn't have kids tells me they're about to have kids, I get so excited because I'm like, you are about to become like 20 times the person you are right now. They do so much good for your personal development. So this is Girlfriends. And I love, love, love this piece. It's got collage. You can see the legs are almost completely collaged. The limbs, I should say, because that hand is also collaged. You have some fish floating. Those are mostly collaged. And then we have this lady. She's collaged with pencil and glitter on top of her. Her bathing suit is marker. So that is Girlfriends. I hope you love this. I want to see someone buy this because this piece deserves a phenomenal home, maybe near the water. I freaking love this piece. Jen, if you're on this call, I think you should have this piece. I can just picture this. You move to the water. You love the beach. You love swimming. If you are a human fish, that piece needs to be for you. It's got the glitter. I love this piece. If you want this piece, I want to get on a call with you and show you it as many angles as possible. I love this piece. All right. Enough on that. I have a sip of water, and we're going to go into, let's see, we've got 5, 8, okay, we've got 9, 10 pieces left. Even though it's not perfectly 1 hour, I feel like we're doing really good for time. Okay. Next, we have this lovely, dainty, much more recent piece. Okay. It's called Transitions. And this piece was made during a time where I didn't specifically lose someone close to me, but many people who were close to me were losing people close to them. So let me take it out of the frame because the glass is providing a little bit of glare. Oh, Smith, thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. She's speaking to Abby there, who hopped on late. So yeah, if you're like Abby and you weren't able to make it to the beginning, we will definitely make the replay available for you. Thanks, Smith. What a great idea. All right, so here we have transitions, and you can see it a lot better out of the frame. It is super abstract. It is a stormy sky. You have rain cloud and a crying bird flying into the clouds. But then up here, you have this release of energy up into this glowing neon sky. This was absolutely made to bring solace and to bring hope and to bring light into what we as humans feel is a very dismal, very, very hard time. And it is a challenge to go through things like that. Thank you, Abby. I love that one too, and I would love to be sending it to you. That one's measured at 3.5 by 5.5, and that was $159, but tonight it is $97, and it comes in that frame. So that's also a really awesome deal. Okay, the next one is called Remembrance. And you've seen this one before, but this is one of the absolute original screen prints. So let's see if you can appreciate any of the texture if I get super close. This is a itty bitty. It's like the size of a business card almost. But some people don't have a lot of wall space, and some people want art on their desk or in their car. So, you can do a lot with this one. But yes, you can kind of see that this is a screen print onto watercolor paper. And screen printing is really cool. Something I got deeply into when I was in college. You basically make a stencil on screen, like a very, very fine, like window screen, and then you block out you block out your stencil, and then you push ink through the screen, so you can make 1,000 of these if you want, 1,000,000 of them if you want to. I did not do that, but that is one of a kind at this point because that screen has been washed and is done. So that is one of the original flower pieces from my my floral structure series. That one's called Remembrance. And that one was $50 and is now $39. The only frame piece tonight is Transitions, which I just showed you. Abby, the one that you love, that's the only piece that comes framed tonight. Normally when you buy originals from me, they're not 30% off, but they are framed and they are shipping included and all of that. Tonight I will include shipping too. All right, you ready? We are down to like the last row, guys. This has been so fun. Let me know if you've been enjoying it. Thank you so much for being active in the chat. It really makes me feel like I'm not standing in my kitchen all alone. It's so much more fun. Not that alone time is bad, but to be talking to a screen by myself is not as fun as talking to you. All right, next we have Life. She has been center stage for quite a while. She is watercolor, she's gouache, she's pen, and she is on one of the most gorgeous watercolor papers you can possibly get. And not only that, she has a sister. She has a sister, and they both came from Cancun, Mexico. If you love the Caribbean, I do think they both have that Caribbean vibe big time. And then we have some details in Relax that Life does not have. So Relax has collage elements, not just iridescence, which you can see so well right here. This is great. We have the iridescence here, and then the iridescence here a little bit in the water and on her bathing suit. Or not her bathing suit, but like the thing you wear over it. I forget the proper name, but I love those things. Cover up. And then up here we also have some spray painted craft paper collaged in. So that's Relax. And then here we have Life. So each of these alone is $191. Tonight, each of these alone is $127. And because I am so excited about getting the energy moving and the art moving and the money moving and the energy. If you would like both of these, I want you to contact me directly and I will give you an even more ridiculous deal. But these are, maybe I would suggest hanging them like that so they're looking at each other. But you've got day and you have night. So they're a nice like yin yang. there really are a lot of opposites happening here, and that would just be a fun discovery process as you look at them and get to know them on your wall. So we have life and we have relax. Love these guys. Okay. Next, the one and only print of the evening. And it is definitely one of the crowd pleasers. So if you are here to get something for your mom, it is a safe buy because I have been getting so much positive feedback about Centered. Now, this piece is printed on a metallic kind of iridescent paper. So that is what makes it more unique. This one measures 3 by 4 inches. So that is a really nice one. Again, not everybody has a ton of wall space, so that can work really well in a small frame for your wall, or for your bookshelf, or wherever. If you have ways of displaying work that is not on your walls, I would love to hear from you and see how you're doing it, because there's so many creative ways, and I am always loving to hear your amazing ideas too. All right, we have 5 to go, guys. Just die. I'm so excited. I'm so happy you're here. I've been really looking forward to this evening. I hope you've been having so much fun. I feel like it's actually just gotten more and more fun as the energy builds and builds with you. So thank you for joining me. All right, next we have Together. And what a timeless message we have here. We are all in this together. When I made this, it was in college, and this was right before I had my nervous breakdown. But I was like watching it was like assigned to us in class, but they were having us watch like unconventional news sources. So we were learning about all sorts of like conspiracy theories presented as like cold hard fact, and it was freaking me out. But in the midst of all that, we learned a lot about activism and people coming together to make change, and we read a lot of Howard Zinn. And so this piece was made in the spirit of all of those things. So when I recently shared it, I was surprised the way that you guys connected this. So I had a grandmother reach out to me who talked to me about helping raise her autistic grandchild and how it was really challenging for her. And the only way she felt like she was able to make her own way through it was through relying on like the village that it takes to raise a child. And she talked about like the beautiful neighbors, and then she talked about how she ended up losing her dad, and that was so hard, but she was able to pull through because of the support system that she had around her, that we are all in this together. My dog was doing something weird behind me. I couldn't figure out what that sound was. You good? I think he's good. So that's where, actually, this one is titled Together, but inside it says, we're all in this together. And you see the small faces, the flower of plants, the pot of plants. We're all in this together. And that one is normally 133, and tonight it is 77. This one's already sleeved up, ready to go. With your order, you'll get a care card to let you know how to take care of it. And I am also getting ready to launch a few series on framing, so I can give you a lot of really good ideas, but you'll also get an ebook that I've written about framing ideas and how you can go about it. And you have about 3 options of ways that I'll walk you through on the different stages of the framing. So just because you're buying something unframed, no worries. I have not left you stranded. I have you covered. Next, we have Grace. I love this piece. It is really different. It is really fun. It is another big one. Here we go. I'm going to get close very quickly so that you can get the full idea. Let's see. I don't know how I'm going to be in this situation. Okay. So here is part of the detail. You have spray painted craft paper. You can see the teal and black spray paint. And then, really trying to be in this. Okay. And then I just want to make sure you can see. And then we have collaged feet and a fish diving into these waters. And with the texture of the spray paint, it feels just like super misty and like one of those days where only the baddest of asses actually go swimming, when it's not like that super sunny, perfect day. That one is called Grace. And this big guy is normally $5.50, and tonight is $3.69. I feel like I can't really show it to you and talk to you at the same time. About 30 by 18 inches. You got the spray paint, gouache, pen and collage on the craft paper. And a little bit more about it. This is silly because you can't see it and hear me. Okay, here we go. Um, and again, it's like diving into the rough waters, but like this brave soul is just down for the adventure, not bothered, not phased. That's Grace. All right. Second to last one, we have Wonder. And earlier on, I was showing you the pieces that I had made on the cardstock given to me in college by my mom and how much I love receiving snail mail. And now with the volume of print orders that I've been getting, I've been self-fulfilling them. And it brings me honestly like so much excitement and joy to put the stamps on the envelopes and write a little thank you to each person ordering. Because again, I absolutely love receiving snail mail from an actual human. And so this piece is representative of that experience. And it's a little girl, and she is reaching out. This is kind of what our mailbox looks like, reaching out to feel the love through the mailbox. And you have this just beautiful, loving spirit. And when I made this one, actually, the way that it happened was every night we eat dinner, we clean up, and then I'm kind of, let's go, let's go, let's go. It is bedtime. We do the teeth, we do the PJs with all four kids, and then we start our tuck-in process. And when I get to the youngest two, it takes a little longer because, they're not there yet. And I was tucking in our third, and while he was falling asleep, I was like almost in asleep, and I saw this vision, and I got a second wind. So once he was sleeping, he was like the last one to fall asleep. So once he fell asleep, I came downstairs, and I really honestly don't come down and work in the night very much. I tend to favor working in like the mid range of the day. But I was like, I just had this like really clear vision. I need to do it. And what was different for me, if you've been following me for any length of time, like a lot of my work lately is like heavily vibrant, lots of color. In fact, get some glitter. And while you're at it, get the iridescence. And it's just like party, 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 color, 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 texture. So I was like really kind of honestly like a little scared and nervous to try something so black and white and like just with these teeny tiny faint hues of color. But so that's the piece. And when I first did it, I couldn't even show anybody besides my husband because I was just like so unsettled with it because it's so different from what I usually do. But it's definitely grown on me. And I really just absolutely love the moment that it's showing. It's so real and true and biographical. If you want to send me snail mail, just let me know because I would love a pen pal or two. Getting letters spontaneously is just such a beautiful experience. Last for the evening, for the Mother's Day art show and sale. Everything 30% off. Use the QR code. The last piece. The last piece here. We have stories. Let me show it to you for a minute. And then I'll kind of steal part of the camera. This piece measures about, no, it's not 14 by 30. What is it? I've got the measurements in the other room. I want to say it's 16 by 20. And here you have the shape of a pear. Recently, I did this series with a hand reaching up and holding a flower. That was a really popular one. And then in that set, there was women at the beach in different dresses, different hats, different things like that. But the selection didn't feel complete to me. So I started to really look at, thank you so much, Abby. I started to really look at the way that I had drawn and painted fruit in the past. And like even pieces, bigger pieces I was working on, there would be tiny details of fruit. And I was really falling in love with the shapes of the fruit and just the feeling of fruit. Like to me, fruit just feels, it feels healthy, happy, simple pleasures. It's like our kids can easily be convinced that fruit is candy. It's just like this innocent joy is what fruit is to me. And so I was loving fruit. So I ultimately had the idea to do a very simple shape of fruit and maybe put a few details in it. So when I first started drawing the outline of the pear and it was just otherwise white paper, I was like, oh my God, I made a massive mistake. But I'm experienced enough to know that with pretty much every piece I ever make, I'm going to hit a point where I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. What did I do? I should just quit now. And I'm like, okay, I expected that at some point. Let me just keep bulldozing through this, and eventually I'll probably end up being really excited about it. And so that's what happened. That's what happened when I started putting this character over here with this amazing hat. You can barely see her silhouette. Her hat's so massive. She's picking the pear. She's putting them into her basket. We have hands reaching through the sky with pears and pears falling. And to me, what this piece became about was the story of how one single pear came to be. You have, I mean, now I start to fill in the blanks in a way that you feel free to do otherwise, but I'll share with you like my story that I've come to make from the piece, out of the pieces that have started to make their way into this painting. You know, animals, they will eat a fruit, and then part of the way nature multiplies itself is by planting itself into the perfect fertilizer pods of animal poop, and then voila, a pear tree can grow because it has so much fox poop nutrients that a whole entire tree can grow. And then we come along and we harvest the pears, and you know, there's for some reason I just absolutely love rainbows, and so there's a faint one in here down the middle, and then we have these striking birds and some playful clouds. So that's stories, and again, it is just about what goes into a single piece. We went to farmers markets a lot in the summer, and they go away a little bit around here when it's not summer, but they'll kind of revitalize. And what I love about farmers markets is that a sweet potato from Trader Joe's. I like Trader Joe's. They're really friendly. It's cool. It's small. I love it. But when I get a sweet potato at Trader Joe's, it's really easy for me to just think of like the orange netted bag that the sweet potato came in. But when I go to a farmer's market and I am literally exchanging energy with the farmer or brother of the farmer that picked that potato, when I go home and I start to cut that potato, I remember the interaction I had with that person who knew the person that picked and planted the potato. And it makes me feel so much more connected to the whole process of receiving that potato. And it's like it ultimately just becomes so much more enjoyed. Like it gives me goosebumps because it's like that cycle and that way that we're all tied together is just it's really just it's easy to forget because we get so busy, but it's like that really is where like the magic starts. It's like when we can connect to those deeper layers of who we're connected to and how we depend on each other, it takes my breath away. It's so beautiful, and it's like that's really where we start to tap into that feeling of oneness and unity. Um, so that is really the spirit of what this whole entire trail of work is about. Not just the one piece I showed you, but the whole story of starting with studies and letting things kind of die out because of life changes and revitalizing it and being inspired by the different constraints and the different curiosities and looking to honor the uniqueness of each person and looking to recognize and honor and explore the connectedness that we have. That's what this is all about, and that is really part of why doing something like this today has been so exciting to me to sit down and really share with you artwork and stories because we're all connected, and when we get to come together in this longer format, a more intimate way, it just really it it amplifies it. It amplifies the feeling. So thank you so much for joining me. Yes, I will share the live stream. I see a few questions that I just want to go through before we end because I'm not sure if they will be um, preserved or not on my end. Yes. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna share your comment right here, Abby. Abby, that is so true. Like, we even just recently um, reorganized our refrigerator to make it feel more like a gallery so that we could feel happier and more celebratory about the milk and the celery and just making it feel welcome and honored. And I feel like that right there is the richness of life. That is enjoying your life and the things that you have. And so good for you. That is amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you are listening to the replay, thank you so much for taking the time on your own to do this. I love you. It went about an hour and 20 minutes. So that is a long visit with you, and it's been so precious. So thank you so much. If you want to reach out to me directly with your email and make sure you get the replay, you can email me, hello@ninamanard.com. Hope you guys have a beautiful night. And again, thank you.